Okay. Now, looking at just those different methods and ways that you're able to actually go about locating units. So, what I'll do just first and foremost is overview them. And this is where we're introducing Shanice as well. And then from that point, we'll dive into each of these methods. So, again, you're not necessarily looking for these places to accept Airbnb, but you're looking for them to accept your specific business model. So, when locating these units, the number one way that most of you can actually find some of these units, if you are in the Atlanta area specifically, is actually utilizing my list that I provide you all within the Facebook group, in addition to on the course platform. For those that are in the Atlanta area, I provide a list of about 35 plus apartment complexes that currently accept corporate leasing within that area. Now, their requirements might look a little different, and that's up to you to look at, call, speak with them about. But it is at least a really good starting place for you to begin actually seeing, okay, how can I begin getting some applications in, or who can I begin having these conversations with? So utilize my list. Again, you can find that within the private Facebook group, in addition to on the course platform. Now, that second way is actually using the Airbnb platform and cross-checking this with Google. For some of you, I feel like you may have tried this, right? Or you at least were just on Airbnb and you were looking at on their map, where are these places at? There is some things that you have to keep in mind when using this method. So we'll talk about that a bit when we dive into that aspect as well. But that is just another way that you're able to find places. In addition to that, just Facebook groups. So Airbnb Facebook groups within your city, utilizing those in terms of being able to find apartment complexes that are already currently accepting them, or at the very least, they are accepting corporate leasing applications. That fourth method, actually cold calling apartments and emailing apartment complexes. So we will be providing you all with a script in terms of what can you use and what do you say when you're actually sending out these emails and you're calling these places, and just kind of taking a shot in the dark and seeing whether or not they accept something like this. And that fifth way, specifically for those of you that may be looking to actually go the route of renting a house rather than just an apartment, or you're open to both routes, working with a realtor is another way that you are able to go about this. Realtors, yes, if you are not in the aspect of, or if you're not making the choice of going about, I'm going to purchase a home in order to get started in this business, you are still able to work with a realtor because they are aware of the homes that are for rent and under a certain amount. This does not mean that you are going to be working with a realtor to, hey, can you find me places or houses, landlords that are accepting corporate leasing? That is not necessarily what this is. This is pretty much just working with a realtor to find someone who can then put you in contact with who you're going to begin having that conversation with. So put you in contact with a landlord who is looking to get that house rented out for $1,500 a month. And then at that point, you are presenting the idea of corporate leasing, whether you're introducing that to them or they're already familiar. Now, Shanice, this is actually where I would love for you to introduce yourself, just specifically as a resource for those who are in the Atlanta area and are wanting to get some of those lists of places that are for rent within their specific threshold.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So hi everyone. Again, my name is Shanice. I'm a realtor here in the Metro Atlanta area. I really just want to reach out and partner with the group and with you all in terms of looking for some corporate leasing spaces. We do primarily have single family homes. So but we will help look for some of those apartment units if that's what you're into as well. But I really wanted to connect here and kind of get a general list or gauge of what you all were interested in before we kind of just sent a random list. I think that would be kind of counterproductive. So I want to make sure that we're looking in the right areas for you, the right kind of traffic spots that you're looking for, in terms of bedrooms, baths, and all that good stuff as well. But I have already shared my email or contact information with Precious, but I can also drop it in the chat here as well. I have a few names here for individuals I know that you all called out were actually in Atlanta. And for Shauna, I believe, was actually out in Miami. While we're not actually physically located in Miami, we are brokered out in Florida as well. So I could potentially help with that as well. So just let us know and we can definitely look into some other things for you. But just wanted to introduce myself as a resource and definitely reach out if you have anything.
Absolutely. And then furthermore, just with them reaching out, or is there specific information they should be prepared to tell you? Because there's some stuff that we've already spoken about with them in terms of what their budget is, like the threshold of rent they're not looking to go above, they're looking to get started with. Is there anything else that they need to know, or what information should they have, I guess, prepared and ready when they reach out to you?
Yeah, I would definitely say I would definitely love to have an idea of your budget. It doesn't have to be exact. The ballpark would definitely be great. I think that's probably really all that. Oh, maybe like a timeline. If you have a timeline that you kind of want to have be closing on this or be set, that would also be good as well. But other than that, we can really work with you and kind of go back and forth there. So no problem.
Perfect. And for everyone that has already had their roadmap call, I have that information on hand for each person because we map out their budget, we map out the location, and we also map out that timeline. So if you all are looking to get started, for those of you that have done your roadmap call already, you may be in more of a position and ready to reach out to Shanice versus those who have not yet had that call. Perfect. Thank you so much, Shanice. So
Yeah,
I'll
no
be
problem.
sharing your contact information. If you want to drop yours in the chat, just in terms of just like your email address, if they're wanting to reach out separately. And then at that point, yeah, we will be good to go, and I will be sharing that information with you as well. So you all will be hearing more from Shanice too.
Alrighty, I'm gonna drop this and I'm gonna head out. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, so those are those ways. And as mentioned, Shanice is just the resource that we have kind of pinpointed and located here within the Atlanta area. But you can absolutely reach out to any of the realtor contacts that you know that you are familiar with, and they would be more than open to work with you on this. For those that may be worried about the fact of like, okay, do I have to pay the realtors or anything like that? That cost is covered from the homeowner's end. So they are actually paying that cost rather than it being on your end. And if you are in Texas, as a heads up, Tina is a realtor in Texas too. So that is a contact that you can also reach out to. Okay. So, and again, as we already mentioned, I did mention this leasing list that we have available for those within Atlanta. And even furthermore, all of you, again, if you have had your roadmap call, we have done an overview of that leasing tracker, meaning just this is kind of, it's a empty shell of the actual apartment complexes that I provide to you all, because each of you should be actually making a copy of this spreadsheet and this tracker and tracking all of the places that you are calling. What are their requirements, whether or not they are saying yes. Again, as a reminder, this is information that you find out on your roadmap call. So if you have not heard this yet, no worries. But in order to get your next check-in call with me, which is going to happen right around week 3 or week 4, you will need to have at least 30 contacts or touch points made and documented on this spreadsheet. That is the way that you are able to gain access to that next check-in call, so that we can make sure that you've actually done enough legwork so that we can discuss what we need to discuss on that call. So that is what's going to be happening. And like I said, you are able to find this leasing list both in the Facebook group in addition to on our course platform, Teachable. So just make sure you download your own copy so that you are able to go ahead and actually begin documenting those for your city too.